My name is Jason Miller. I am 32 years old. I work as a machine programmer in a small factory in Ohio. My job is simple to explain, but not always easy to do. I write programs for big machines. These machines help make parts for cars and tools. If the machine stops, everything stops. The workers wait. The boss gets angry. The company loses money. So my job is important. I know that. I always try my best. I live with my wife, Emily. She is kind and quiet. She works as a teacher at a small school near our house. She wakes up early every day. She needs her sleep. She needs her peace. Our life is simple. We eat dinner together. We watch TV. Sometimes we take a walk after dinner. I like this life. It feels calm. It feels safe. That night, everything was normal. I came home from work at 6 in the evening. I felt tired. I felt a little stressed, but it was a normal day. At work, I had worked on a machine for a new project. It took many hours. I checked everything 2 times. I tested it. It looked fine. It worked well. My boss, Mr. Carter, was there. He saw me working. He said, "Good job, Jason." I felt happy when he said that. At home, Emily made pasta for dinner. It smelled very good. I remember smiling when I walked into the kitchen. I hugged her from behind. She laughed. She always laughs like that. Soft and warm. We ate together and talked about our day. She told me about her students. One boy forgot his homework again. One girl drew a picture for her. Small things, simple things. I like hearing her stories. After dinner, I sat on the couch. I felt tired. My body was heavy. My eyes were slow. I remember saying, "I think I will sleep early tonight." Emily nodded. She said, "Me too." We both went to bed before 10. That is early for us, but we needed it. I closed my eyes and slept fast. Very fast. I did not know what was coming. The morning started in a strange way. I did not wake up to my alarm. I did not wake up to light. I woke up to a feeling. A strange feeling, like something was wrong. I opened my eyes slowly. The room was still dark. It was very early. I could hear something, a sound, a small sound. It was a phone vibrating. It was not loud, but it was enough. It felt sharp in the quiet room. I sat up. My head felt heavy. I looked around. Emily was not in bed. The bathroom light was on. Then I realized the sound was coming from the living room, my phone. I stood up and walked slowly. My feet felt cold on the floor. I picked up my phone. I saw 2 missed calls, both from my boss, Mr. Carter. I checked the time. It was 5:56 in this morning. I felt confused, very confused. Why is he calling me this early? I said to myself. My heart started to beat faster. Not too fast, but faster than normal. Something did not feel right. At that moment, Emily came out of the bedroom. Her face looked pale. Her eyes were wide. She looked scared, really scared. "Jason," she said, her voice shaking. "Your boss called me." I froze. I did not understand. "He called you?" I asked. She nodded. "Yes. He called me at 5:55. He asked where you are." I felt a cold feeling in my chest. It was not anger yet. It was shock. "Why would he call you?" I asked again. Emily sat down on the chair. Her hands were shaking a little. "I don't know," she said. I thought something bad happened." Her words hit me hard. I felt bad. I felt really bad. What do you mean? I asked. She looked at me, her eyes still wide. He woke me up. It was still dark. He sounded serious. He asked, "Is Jason there?" I didn't know what to think. I didn't know if you were home. I didn't know if something happened to you. I felt my stomach drop. I did not think about that, not even for a second. For me, it was just a phone call, just work. But for her, it was fear, real fear. I was so scared, she said softly. I thought maybe you were in an accident or something happened at work. I didn't know. I didn't know. She repeated it again. I didn't know. I walked closer to her. I sat down next to her. I put my hand on hers. It felt cold. I'm sorry, I said. I'm here. I'm okay. She nodded, but her face was still tense. She was still not calm. I couldn't sleep after that, she said. My heart was beating so fast. I kept thinking, what if something is wrong? I felt angry now. Slowly, the anger started to grow. This was not right. My boss called me. I did not answer. That is normal. It is 5:50 in the morning. People sleep at that time. But then, he called my wife. Why? That question stayed in my head. Why? I stood up again. I looked at my phone. 2 missed calls from him. Then I saw a message. Call me ASAP, machine issue. I took a deep breath. I tried to stay calm. It's probably work, I said. Something with the machine from yesterday. Emily looked at me. But why call me? She asked again. I had no answer. I don't know, I said slowly. I really don't know. I felt confused. I felt upset. I felt angry. But I also knew something else. I had to call him back. I looked at the time again. 6 a.m. Too early for this kind of stress. I pressed the call button. My hand felt tight. My chest felt heavy. The phone rang once, twice. Then he answered. Jason, Mr. Carter said quickly. Finally, where have you been? His voice sounded stressed, maybe even a little angry. I was sleeping, I said. My voice was calm, but inside I felt something else. There is a problem with the machine you worked on yesterday, he said. It stopped during the night shift. The workers can't use it. I closed my eyes for a second. I tested it, I said. It was working fine when I left. Well, it's not working now, he said. We need you here. Now. Now. That word felt heavy. I looked at Emily. She was watching me. Her face still showed fear. I turned away a little. I did not want her to hear everything. I'll be there, I said. I ended the call. I stood there for a moment, silent. Emily spoke first. You have to go? I nodded. Yes. She looked down. Then she said quietly, I'm still scared. Her words stayed in the air. I know, I said. I understand. But inside, I felt something growing stronger. This was not just about work anymore. This was about respect. And something about this situation did not feel right at all. I got dressed very fast. My hands moved quickly, but my mind was slow. I kept thinking about Emily's face. She looked scared. She looked tired. It was too early for fear. It was too early for stress. I put on my work shirt. I grabbed my keys. I looked at Emily again. She was sitting on the chair, quiet now. Too quiet. "I'll fix it and come back," I said. She nodded, but she did not smile. "Please be careful," she said. "I will," I answered. I walked out of the house. The air outside was cold. The sky was still dark. It felt like the night was not finished yet. I got into my car and started the engine. The sound was loud in the quiet street. As I drove, I felt many things. I felt tired. I felt annoyed. I felt angry. My head was full of questions. Why did he call Emily? Why did he not wait? Why did he think it was okay? I repeated these questions again and again. No answers came. The road was empty, no cars, no people, just me and my thoughts. I looked at the clock in the car. 6:10 a.m. Too early, way too early. I arrived at the factory around 6:30. The lights were on. The building looked the same, but something felt different. I parked my car and walked inside. The night shift workers were still there. Some looked tired. Some looked frustrated. I could see it in their faces. One of them, Mike, walked toward me. He looked relieved. "Jason, finally," he said. "The machine stopped around 3 a.m. We couldn't fix it." I nodded. "What happened exactly?" I asked. He shrugged. "We don't know. It just stopped. We tried restarting it, but nothing worked." I walked quickly to the machine. My heart was beating faster now, not from fear, but from pressure. The machine stood there, quiet, too quiet. I turned it on. I checked the screen. I checked the program. Everything looked normal. That was strange, very strange. I checked again, slowly this time. I looked at every detail, every line, every number. Then I pressed the start button. The machine started, just like that. It started! I blinked. I watched it closely. The machine moved smoothly. No problem, no error. I felt confused. "Wait," I said softly. "That's it?" Mike looked at me. "What do you mean?" "It's working," I said. He walked closer. He watched the machine. His face changed. "That's weird," he said. "Did you change anything?" I asked. "No," he said quickly. "We didn't touch the program. We just tried to restart it." I stood there, watching the machine run. It worked perfectly, like nothing had happened. I felt something rise inside me again. This time, it was stronger. Anger. I woke up early. My wife got scared. My heart was racing. And for what? For this? A machine that works fine? I took a deep breath. I tried to stay calm, but it was not easy. Mr. Carter walked in at that moment. He looked stressed, but when he saw the machine, his face changed. "It's working?" he asked. "Yes," I said. My voice was flat. He looked at the machine for a few seconds. Then he looked at me. "Well, that's good," he said. "Maybe it was just a temporary issue?" Temporary. That word made me feel worse. "You called me at 5:50 in the morning," I said slowly. He nodded. Yes, it was urgent. I shook my head. You also called my wife. He paused, just for a second. Yes, because you didn't answer. I felt my hands tighten. That's not okay. He looked surprised. What do you mean? My wife was sleeping, I said. You woke her up. She was scared. She thought something bad happened to me. He crossed his arms. I needed to reach you, he said. At 5:50? I asked. For a machine that is working right now? He did not answer right away. He looked a little uncomfortable, but he tried to stay strong. The machine stopped during the night shift, he said. That is serious. Yes, I said, but this is not an emergency. This is not life or death. He frowned. This is business, Jason. We lose money when machines stop. I took a step closer. I understand that. I really do. But there are limits. Limits? He asked. Yes, I said. You can call me. That's fine. But you don't call my wife. That is private. That is personal. He sighed. You're overreacting. Those words hit me hard. Overreacting. I felt my face get warm. My chest felt tight. No, I said. I'm not. I looked at him directly. She was scared. She woke up thinking something happened to me. Do you understand that? He looked away for a moment, then back at me. I didn't think about that. Yes, I said. That's the problem. You didn't think. The room felt quiet. Too quiet. Mike and the other workers slowly moved away. They did not want to be part of this. I could see it. Mr. Carter looked at me again. His face was more serious now. I was trying to solve a problem, he said. And you created another one, I answered. We stood there looking at each other. I felt nervous. I felt strong, both at the same time. I knew this was not easy. Talking to your boss like this is not easy. But I also knew something else. This was not right. And if I stayed quiet, it would happen again. I think you should apologize, I said. He blinked. Apologize? Yes, I said. To my wife. His face changed again. This time, he looked surprised, maybe even a little offended. For what? He asked. For scaring her, I said. For calling her so early, for crossing a line. He shook his head slowly. I don't think that's necessary. I felt the anger come back. Stronger now. It is necessary, I said. He looked at me carefully. Jason, you're making this bigger than it is. I took a deep breath. No, I said again. I'm not. I thought about Emily, sitting in that chair, her hands shaking, her voice soft and scared. I could still hear her words. I didn't know. I didn't know. That feeling stayed with me, and I could not ignore it. I'm serious, I said. She deserves an apology. He stayed silent. For a long moment, no one spoke. The machine kept running behind us. The sound was steady, calm, normal. But inside me, nothing felt calm. Nothing felt normal. I was standing in the middle of something bigger than a machine problem. This was about respect. This was about boundaries, and I was not ready to let it go. Mr. Carter did not speak for a few seconds. The silence felt heavy. I could hear the machine running behind us. I could hear my own breathing, slow, loud, uncomfortable. Then he shook his head again. "No," he said. "I'm not going to apologize." His voice was calm, but it felt hard, like a wall. I felt something break inside me, not loud, not fast, just a quiet break, a small crack that grew bigger. "You're not?" I asked. He crossed his arms. "No, I did my job. I needed to contact you." I stared at him. I tried to understand. I tried to stay calm, but it was getting harder. "You could have waited," I said. 1 hour, maybe 2 hours. You could have called again later. "And if the machine was still down?" he asked. "We would lose more time." I shook my head slowly. "But the machine is not down, it's working. You see that." He looked at the machine again, then back at me. "That's not the point." I almost laughed, but I didn't. It was not funny. "That is exactly the point," I said. "You cause stress for no reason." He sighed. "Jason, this is how work is. Sometimes things happen early. Sometimes you have to respond." "I understand that," I said. "I really do. But you called my wife. That is different." He stayed quiet again. I could feel my heart beating faster. I could feel my hands getting tight again. "I never gave you her number for this," I said. "That number is for emergencies." "This was an emergency," he said quickly. "No," I answered. "It was not." We looked at each other again. The same moment. The same tension. I felt tired. Not just from waking up early. I felt tired inside. Tired of explaining something that felt so simple. "Let me ask you something," I said. He did not answer, but he looked at me. "If I called your wife at 5:50 in the morning," I said slowly, "how would you feel?" His face changed a little. "Just a little." He opened his mouth, then closed it again. I continued. "If I said, 'Hey, I can't reach your husband. Where is he?' How would you feel?" He looked away this time. I could see it. He understood. At least a little. But he was still not ready to say it. "That's different," he said after a moment. "No," I said. "It's the same." Another silence. I felt a mix of emotions: anger, frustration, sadness. I did not like this feeling. I did not like this situation. I liked my job. I respected my boss. But right now, it felt different. It felt wrong. "I'm not asking for something big," I said. "Just a simple apology. Just a message. That's all." He shook his head again, slower this time. "I think you're taking this too personally," he said. That sentence made everything worse. Too personally. Of course it was personal. "It is personal," I said. "It's my wife." My voice was stronger now. Not loud, but strong. "She was scared," I continued. "She woke up thinking something bad happened. That feeling stays. It doesn't go away fast." He looked at me, but he said nothing. "I had to calm her down," I said. "I had to explain everything, and I didn't even understand it myself." I paused. I took a breath. This is not just about a phone call, I said. It's about respect. It's about knowing limits. He finally spoke again, but his voice was softer. I didn't mean to scare her, he said. I know, I answered. But you did. That was the truth. Simple, clear. He looked down at the floor. For a moment, he looked unsure, not strong like before, just quiet. I thought maybe now he would understand. Maybe now he would say it. But then he looked up again, and his face changed back. I still don't think I need to apologize, he said. That was it. That was the moment. I felt something settle inside me, a decision, clear and strong. Okay, I said. My voice was calm now. Too calm. He looked at me, maybe surprised. Okay, he repeated. Yes, I said. If you don't think it's wrong, then we have a bigger problem. He frowned. What do you mean? I looked at him directly. It means this can happen again. It won't, he said quickly. You don't know that, I answered, because you don't see the problem. He stayed silent. I continued, Today it's a machine. Tomorrow it's something else. Maybe you call again. Maybe you call her again. I wouldn't, he started. But you already did, I said. He stopped talking. The air felt heavy again. I looked around the factory. Everything looked normal. People working, machines running, the same place I came to every day. But inside me, something changed. I need boundaries, I said. Clear boundaries. He nodded slowly. Fine, I won't call your wife again. That was something, but it did not feel enough. And the apology? I asked. He looked tired now, maybe a little annoyed too. I said no, he replied. I waited for a second. Just 1 second. Then I nodded. Then I will write it in an email, I said. His eyes narrowed. An email? Yes, I said. I will explain everything clearly, what happened, why it's not okay. You're going to report me? He asked. I shook my head. I'm going to document it. He did not like that answer. I could see it. That's not necessary, he said. It is for me, I replied. We stood there again. The same distance, the same tension. But now, things were different. I was not asking anymore. I was deciding. I'm not trying to fight, I said. I just want this to be clear for the future. He sighed deeply. Do what you want, he said. I nodded. I will, I answered. I turned away and walked toward my desk. My steps felt heavy, but also steady. I sat down and looked at my computer screen. It was still early, not even 7 a.m. This day felt very long already. I opened a new email. My fingers stayed still for a moment. I thought about Emily again, her face, her voice. I didn't know. I took a deep breath. Then I started to type. Slowly, carefully, every word mattered. Because this was not just about work anymore. This was about doing what is right. I stared at the screen for a long time. My hands were on the keyboard, but I did not type. I was thinking. I was choosing my words. I did not want to sound angry. I did not want to sound rude. But I also did not want to stay silent. I took a deep breath. Then I started writing. I explained everything in simple words. I wrote about the calls. I wrote the time, 5:50 in the morning. I wrote that I did not answer because I was asleep. I wrote that calling my wife was not okay. I wrote that she felt scared. Very scared. I wrote that this was not an emergency. The machine was working when I arrived. There was no danger, no risk to life. I kept my sentences short, clear, honest. Then I wrote one more thing. I wrote, I respect my job. I respect the company, but I also respect my family. Please do not contact my wife again for work matters. And I still believe an apology is the right thing to do. I read the email again. Slowly, twice. My heart was beating fast. I felt nervous. I felt unsure. But I also felt right. This was the truth. I pressed send. The moment I clicked the button, I felt something change inside me. A small release. Like I let something go, but I also knew something else. This was not finished. The next hour felt long, very long. I tried to focus on work, but my mind kept going back to the email. I checked my inbox again and again. Nothing, no reply. At 8:15, I finally saw a new message. It was from Mr. Carter. I opened it slowly. My eyes moved across the screen. His message was short. Jason, I understand your concern. I will not contact your wife again. Let's keep communication through you only. As for the apology, I did not intend to cause fear, but I will consider your request. I read it again. Then again. I will consider your request. That line stayed in my head. It was not an apology, not really, but it was not a full no either. I leaned back in my chair. I felt tired, so tired. I did not reply right away. I needed time. After my shift, I drove home. The sun was up now. The sky was bright. People were outside. Normal life, calm life. But inside me, things still felt heavy. When I opened the door, Emily was in the kitchen. She turned and looked at me. Her face was softer now, not as scared as before. "You're back," she said. "I'm back," I answered. I walked to her and gave her a small hug. She hugged me back, warm, safe. "Is everything okay?" she asked. I nodded a little. "The machine is fine," I said. "There was no real problem." She looked confused. "Then why all that stress?" I sighed. "That's a good question." We sat down together. I told her everything, about the machine, about my talk with Mr. Carter, about the email. She listened quietly. She always listens like that, calm, careful. When I finished, she was silent for a moment. Then she asked, "Will he apologize?" I looked down at my hands. "I don't know," I said honestly. She nodded slowly. "It's okay," she said. I looked up. "It's okay?" She smiled a little. Not a big smile, but a real one. "I was scared this morning," she said. "Very scared. But now I understand what happened. And you stood up for me." Her words touched me deeply. You matter to me, I said. Your feelings matter. She squeezed my hand gently. I know. We sat there in silence for a moment, but this silence felt different. It felt calm. It felt safe. That night, I thought a lot. About work. About respect. About boundaries. I realized something simple but important. Work is important. Yes. Money is important. Yes. But people are more important. Family is more important. Feelings are important. If we forget that, we lose something big. The next morning, I woke up at a normal time. The sun was already up. The room felt warm, peaceful. No calls, no fear. Just a quiet morning. When I checked my phone, I saw a new message. It was from Mr. Carter again. I opened it. This time, the message was different. Jason, I thought more about our conversation. I understand now. I'm sorry for calling your wife so early and causing her fear. That was not right. It will not happen again. I read it slowly, then I read it again. A real apology. Simple, clear. I felt a small smile on my face. I walked to the kitchen. Emily was making coffee. He apologized, I said. She turned to me. Really? I nodded. Yes. She smiled. A real smile this time, warm and bright. That's good, she said. Yes, I answered. It is. I felt lighter, much lighter. Not because of the words alone, but because something changed. There was understanding now. There was respect. And that matters. That really matters. Later that day, I went to work again. Things felt normal. Mr. Carter nodded at me when he saw me. I nodded back. No anger, no tension, just quiet understanding. Sometimes problems happen. That is normal. But how we handle them, that is important. Very important. And here is what I learned. If something feels wrong, say it. If someone crosses a line, speak up. You can be calm. You can be respectful. But you should be clear. Because silence does not fix problems. Honesty does. Respect goes both ways. At work, at home, everywhere. And one simple truth stayed in my mind. Protect your peace. Protect your people. Because at the end of the day, work is just work. But family is everything.